This glass of hard-hitting battles and gorgeous set pieces went down real yummy, and it was another landmark in Pokemon animation. So let's talk about it. Hey everyone, it's Charles. How are you today? I won't be reminding you to enter my Pokemon Legends Arceus sweepstakes again today. But as for the sketchy January 2022 swine a beard, shave it or leave it, cast your vote. Anyways, today I wanted to reflect on the newest Pokemon anime tour de force that has captured viewers' eyes like a buzzwole in a virgin killing sweater. But in a good way. Because while all of us, every single one of us, loves the main Pokemon anime series, side series shows like Origins, Generations, the Poketoons, and of course, Twilight Wings, flesh out the animated Pokemon universe with audio-visual impact and story content that are an onyx length off the beaten path of Ash Ketchum's never-ending adventure. And now we have another jewel on the side series crown, Pokemon Evolutions, an 8-episode mini-series that explores the stories of key characters from each known region of the Pokemon games. It's a banger worth discussing in detail, so today's plan is to drop a quick mini review of all 8 episodes. Bearing in mind that none of these episodes are bad by any means, but I'm rating them against each other to clearly show you which ones I think are the alchemy of the crop. And with that said, as always, it is going to be a fun time, so kindly digivolve that like button from Whitemon to Bluemon for the YouTube algorithm, and let's jump right in. In episode 1, The Champion, we see Leon buckle under the weight of insecurity following his failure to defend Galar from Eternatus. The episode was beautifully animated, cinematic goodness shot in an ultra widescreen aspect ratio that gave us a much needed look at the inner struggles lurking beneath Leon's veneer of confidence and showmanship. It also blessed us with a more mature looking cast, and good golly, Miss Molly, that is so cute. In episode 2, The Eclipse, we see Lily and Celine summon Lunala to save the Milfy psychopath and Jake Paul from Necrozma, and we all know what a wild ride that was. We've seen Lily's character explored from a similar angle in the games, the manga, and the main anime series, but this episode is worth checking out for the visual impact alone. The clash between Lunala and Necrozma sets a new standard for aerial Pokemon battles. Lily's emotions are conveyed beautifully thanks to the detail-oriented animation, and that sunset scene is absolutely iconic. In episode 3, Mr. Fashion Hair shoots himself with a Destructo Ray, also known as the Visionary. We see Lysander mull over his own murky ideals as he quests to preserve the world's beauty and attain eternal life. He looks like as much of an idiot in orange sunglasses and a Dr. Octopus suit as he always has, and while we have already seen his story animated in the main series and Generations, albeit from a slightly different angle, now fashionable actor shippers have 2 Diantha coffee scenes to choose from. And would you look at that, Serena returns. In episode 4, The Plan, Getsus reviews the key events of his plan, from raising N to become Team Plasma's king, to spreading his philosophy to the people of Unova and beyond. Much like episode 2, this one is shot in 16:9 instead of ultra widescreen, and while story-wise I did not find it as intriguing as some of the other episodes, the pretty pictures backing Goofy Monocle Man's monologue about the story of Black and White are still worth a look. P.S. Poor Alder. He gets rolled by the emo peta guy, rolled by 10-year-olds, rejected by the queen, and, well, at least he has the booth on his side. In episode 5, The Rival, Barry reflects on the peaks and the valleys of his quest for strength. He collects badges, gets skunked by Jupiter, and returns the favor, and the episode basically serves as yet another highlight reel of game content punctuated by slick battles. Nothing more, nothing less. But if you are into mom hair and daddy issues, then this one is for you. In episode 6, The Wish, Zinnia tells May the story of Primal Kyogre, Primal Big Red Sandshrew, and the beginnings of Mega Evolution itself at the Sky Pillar. She then summons Rayquaza, but our big green stickbug with tiny arms ultimately sides with May instead. The audio-visual prowess of this episode will blast your socks off. And personally, I am always happy to see more of Zinnia because unlike 50% of Pokemon fans, I actually love her, and it is not because of my browser history. It's because I read the Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire arc of Pokemon Adventures, which actually did justice to her character, unlike the games wherein her lack of a proper backstory makes her motivations seem flat and sometimes a bit silly, like the motivations of most characters in the games. On the whole, Evolutions treats us to more juicy Zinnia development, and Rayquaza decides not to gore her and leave her to fall into the ocean and die this time around. It's one of the best of the bunch. In episode 7, the show, the Kimono Girls narrate the legend of Ho-Oh, Lugia, and the Brass Tower in a stunning performance that will take your breath away. This episode brings Ecruteak City to life like never before, and one thing I really appreciate about the performance is how they use Pokemon behind the scenes to create the special effects. All I can say is that this episode is an artistic, visual spectacle unlike anything I've ever seen in Pokemon, and it sure made me want to mosey on over to the theater houses over in Kyoto. In episode 8, the discovery, Green, who is actually called Blue in Japanese, causing all kinds of unnecessary confusion, finally gets her time in the animated limelight, as she searches for Mewtwo to complete her Pokedex while coming into conflict with various other trainers along the way. Each episode of Evolutions has had a slightly different visual flair to it, but I think episode 8 strikes the perfect balance by elevating the whiz-bang factor while still retaining the cartoony look of the characters, as we would expect to see in the main series anime, as this certainly gives them a greater range of believable expression than the Daddy Leon look, as cool as it is. Blue, or Green, you may as well just call her Cyan at this point, is a cool girl, and I plan to make a standalone video about that particular episode, so stay tuned for it. And with that, we have crushed out a mini review for all 8 of the Pokemon Evolutions episodes. This series was a wonderful way to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the Pokemon franchise with a sample platter of goodies to taste from every generation, and I highly encourage you to check it out. That said, I still find myself a little bit frustrated that the majority of the Pokemon anime side series consist of fairly short and shallow retreads of the game's core story beats, as beautiful as they are, instead of entirely original, engaging new content. But that is a story for another day, so please subscribe for that story on another day. Putting my petty desires for brand new high quality Pokemon storytelling aside, I understand that the purpose of this series was obviously to send off the quarter-century landmark year that was 2021 with a big bang to get fans talking, and it has achieved exactly that, with a product that is absolutely stunning from an audio-visual standpoint, and good fun to boot. But how about you? What's your take on Pokemon Evolutions? Which episode was your favorite? And what kind of Pokemon side series is on your wish list? I'm curious what you think, and as always, let's chat.